What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak, and this is the 2019 Week 16 Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings episode. The 11-3 Packers at the 10-4 Vikings on Monday Night Football of Week 16. A big opportunity for the Vikings to get a home win against their hated rival Green Bay Packers and go higher up, get an opportunity to have a better seed in the playoffs. So a big game. The Packers won the first meeting of the season, and the Packers looking for a sweep. No Dalvin Cook for the Vikings going into this game, so I knew it was going to be a tough one. I picked the Vikings, but I wasn't feeling confident about it, especially with no Dalvin Cook. I think if Dalvin Cook plays, the Vikings have a decent shot of winning this one. But no Dalvin Cook really changes things, and it was obvious in this one. Putting too much pressure on the shoulders of Kirk Cousins, who, is 0-8 on Monday Night Football coming into this game, so hard to be confident about him against the Packers. Starts out, Aaron Jones fumbles on the opening drive of the game, recovered by Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks. Big turnover to start a big, tough road game, give the home team momentum and an early scoring option. The Vikings can't punch it in for 7, though, and kicker Dan Bailey settles for a 23-yard field goal, 3-0 Vikings. That's a good hold by the Packers defense and a win there. 3-0, you'll take that compared to giving up 7. Packers kicker Mason Crosby makes a 42-yard field goal to tie the game at 3. Then Aaron Rodgers throws just his third interception on the season to Vikings safety Anthony Harris, which leads to a Kirk Cousins 21-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Stephon Diggs. So a 10-3 Vikings lead, and all their points are coming off turnovers. Kicker Mason Crosby makes a 33-yard field goal to cut the score to 10-6 Minnesota. Then a Devontae Adams fumble would be recovered by Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks, his second fumble recovery of the game, and the Packers' third turnover in the first half. Crazy first half of football in this one. So Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer decides to go for it on 4th and 4 from the Packers' 42-yard line. Cousins throws it deep, and it's not even close. Turnover on downs. I don't hate the decision to go for it here, but I do hate the play call or execution, whichever one. It wasn't even close. And maybe instead of having Stephon Diggs throw the ball to Kirk Cousins, maybe they should, on the play before, on 3rd and 4, maybe just stick to what normally works and have Cousins be the guy that throws it, have Stephon Diggs be the guy that catches it, and maybe that play will have a better probability of working, a better percentage. So don't like it. They tried the whole, it was like a Philly special or whatever, the throw to Nick Foles, the throw to Tom Brady. I don't like it. Kirk Cousins isn't a pass-catching, quarterback. No need to throw it to him. No need to have Diggs throw it, who overthrew him on the play. Just stick with what works. Everyone wants to copy each other. Just play straight up and beat the Packers that way. Don't like it. It leads to a turnover on downs. On 2nd and goal at the Minnesota 1-yard line, Packers head coach Matt LaFleur decides to kick the field goal with only 3 seconds left in the first half. Some fans will question the call, wanting the Packers to go for it there. I say it's a smart decision. Take the 3 points going into halftime. You put points on the board and keep momentum on your side. 3 first-half turnovers and to go into halftime only down 1 point, I'll definitely take that 100% of the time. So the Vikings lead 10-9 at halftime. On 1st and 10 in Green Bay territory, quarterback Kirk Cousins fires a deep pass into double coverage and is intercepted by Packers corner Kevin King. Bad decision here by Kirk Cousins. It's 1st and 10. You're driving. You just got into Green Bay territory. No need to force this pass. It's like he had his mindset that he was going deep. He was going to be aggressive on that play. Forces it into double coverage and gets picked off. That's part of the reason why you're 0-9 or 0-8 on Monday Night Football, because of bad decisions, bad throws, big turnovers in the wrong time. With a 1-point lead, you turn the ball over here. It switches momentum. Packers march down and Aaron Jones rushes for a 12-yard touchdown. 2-point conversion pass to wide receiver Geronimo Allison is good, and it's a 17-10 Packer lead. I would have kicked the extra point here. Just make it 16-10. Lots of football left to go. No need to be chasing points that early in the game. But I can't hate on it because he converted it. If you're gonna go for two, convert it. And if you convert it, I can't say anything about it. So 17-10, a 7-point lead. Packers have to be feeling confident there. Then Aaron Jones breaks off a 56-yard rushing touchdown. Extra point by kicker Mason Crosby is no good. 23-10, but that's a back-breaking run. Bad tackling, bad lane integrity allows Aaron Jones to get through the hole and out to the races. Bad defense by the Vikings here, and now down 2 scores, in a big game. The Packers go on to defeat the Vikings 23-10 at US Bank Stadium. Big win for the Packers on the road as they sweep the division in 2019, or are about to. They got the Lions up in Week 17, but I fully expect the Packers to sweep the division, and not great for a Bears fan, and for the NFC North as the Packers just dominating. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers goes 26 of 40 for 216 yards, no touchdowns and a pick, and Aaron Rodgers improves to 9-0 in his career when he has a 100-yard rusher and a 100-yard receiver in the same game. So give Aaron Rodgers some help, and he's undefeated. Running back Aaron Jones rushes 23 times for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns and a fumble lost. Makes up for that early fumble lost and has a big game the rest of the way. Aaron Jones has more rushing yards than the Vikings have total yards in the game. And Aaron Jones he's now got 16 rushing touchdowns in the season, which is the second most in franchise history and leads the NFL. Wide receiver Devontae Adams catches 13 for 116 yards and a fumble lost. He has 5 100-yard receiving games this season, which ties a career high. Linebackers Darius Smith, who they brought over in free agency this summer, with a monster game in Minnesota on Monday Night Football. 7 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 5 tackles for loss. He was unblockable and absolutely decent out there. Kicker Mason Crosby goes 3 for 3 on field goals, 0 for 1 on extra points. And the Packers defense has allowed 15 points or less in 4 straight games. That's their longest streak of that since 2007. So, the Packers are firing on all cylinders right now, and they have to be a team you got to look out for come playoff time. You have Aaron Rodgers, which makes you formidable on the passing game. Then you got Aaron Jones leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns, coming off a big game in this one. You got the defense playing well, holding teams less than 15 points. 4 straight games. Darius Smith beasting out. The secondary picking passes off. Packers are going to be tough to beat, especially if they have home field in the playoffs, in these games. For the Vikings stats, quarterback Kirk Cousins goes 16 of 31 for 122 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 pick, and Kirk Cousins falls to 0-9 on Monday Night Football in his NFL career. That's the worst record on Monday Night Football in NFL history. Kirk Cousins doesn't like the bright lights. That's something we've been saying for a while, and it seems to be true. But it would help if Dalvin Cook would get healthy and be running. No, Dalvin Cook definitely hurt the Vikings in this game, and their leading rusher was 4th-string running back Mike Boone with just 28 yards. So that definitely probably played a factor in the game, in the loss. Stephon Diggs catches 3 for 57 yards and a touchdown, and Diggs has a receiving touchdown in 7 straight games against the Packers. Kicker Dan Bailey, 1 of 1 on field goals and 1 of 1 on extra points, and Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks recovers 2 fumbles in the game. Next up, the Packers, they improved to 12-3. They'll be at Ford Field to take on the 3-11-1 Lions. The Packers have clinched the NFC North Championship. After 2 years of missing the playoffs, they're back on top of the division. Can clinch the number 1 seed with a win on Sunday and a 49ers loss. Would clinch the 2 seed with a win and a Seahawks or Saints loss. and could clinch the 3 seed with a loss and a Saints win. I think, right now, I'm honestly leaning and honestly saying I think the Packers end up with the number 1 seed in the NFC. I think they take care of the Lions, get an easy win there, and I think the Seahawks beat the 49ers on Sunday night. I really do. So if that happens, the Packers would get the number 1 overall seed. If they lose, or if they win, and the Seahawks lose, then the Packers would get the 2 seed. Either way, it's looking pretty good that the Packers are going to get a 1 or a 2 seed in the playoffs. I highly doubt they lose to the Lions on Sunday, which is the only way they could fall to the 3 seed. So, chances are, in my opinion, I think the Packers grab the 1 seed. Either way, it's 1 or 2, and these playoff teams are going to have to go into Lambeau to beat the Packers. If the 49ers take care of business on Sunday night, the only time the Packers would have to go on the road is to Levi's Stadium against the Niners. So Packers would definitely much rather play that game at Lambeau if they have to face Garoppolo and the Niners in that defense. For the Vikings, they fall to 10-5, and they will host the 7-8 Bears on Sunday. The Vikings have clinched the number 6 seed in the NFC playoffs, so Sunday doesn't really matter that much to them. And in fact, I've got the Bears going into Minnesota and getting a win over the Vikings on Sunday. That's my upset prediction, my bold prediction. I got the Bears finishing the year at 8-8, and the Vikings finishing at 10-6 with a loss to the Bears, and for the Vikings to get swept by Chicago. The Vikings have to prove it to me that they can beat the Bears, because they haven't done it in recent history, losing 3 straight, and we'll see if they can get a win in Week 17. So that's what I'm thinking. Looking at the playoff scenario, I mean, Vikings are the 6th seed. As of right now, my prediction is for the Seahawks to get the 3 seed, Vikings to get the 6, Packers to get the 1 seed. So that would set up Vikings at Seahawks on Wild Card Weekend, which would be a hell of a game. Tough game for the Vikings, but a big game nonetheless. And the Packers with the 1 seed. So we'll see if that happens. That's my prediction. I got the Bears winning on Sunday and the Packers winning on Sunday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the episodes. Got them coming out weekly, and player interviews as well. Got 40 of those for you to check out. So head to my YouTube, Alex Leak and Friends, and check it out. And have a great week, guys. Hope you had a good holiday, and stay tuned. We'll be back next week. Peace out.